your source for all things Texas Tech. This is the Ask Level podcast from the Double T Sports Network.
Red Raiders getting ready for the Orange Bowl, and Tech Hoops dropped another marquee matchup. In today's episode, we'll talk about the college football playoff, possible matchups, Jacob Rodriguez getting snubbed from New York, the possible end of the Mahomes dynasty, and Texas Tech basketball still not being where we want them. We'll also answer a group of questions from the audience. Ask Level, as usual, brought to you by our friends at Cantex Roofing and Construction.
This is Mike Hebert, the proud owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. We've been serving West Texas for all of your residential and commercial construction needs for the past 9 years. We would love the opportunity to earn your business. Together, we are one serving you.
Alongside Chris Level, I'm Chois Woodman. Level, the weather is chilly and then not, and then it's hard to figure out at this time of year, but it is bowl season, football season, and basketball. We're getting some marquee matchups, some good ones out there. Texas Tech drops another. We'll get into that and quite a few questions. But are you getting into the Christmas spirit?
Man, no, it always, this is always the way it works. But anytime like Thanksgiving is like later on
Mm-hmm.
in November, which it was this year, it's amazing what like a span of 3 or 4 or 5 days makes when it's like the 28th or 29th as opposed to like the 22nd or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
it feels, but yeah, which it was late this year. And so it feels like you're just drinking from a fire hose right now. It's like all this stuff's you gotta squeeze it all in between now and
Yeah.
Christmas. So it's kind of sneaking up on me right now as I just look up and you and I were talking about next week and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh yeah, like it's just here. And then before you know it, you're gonna be on a plane to Miami and yeah, busy time of year for everybody, stressful time of year for everybody. And been dealing with a sinus infection, which happens
Mm-hmm.
to me annually. It's very frustrating, especially when you're up and getting up in planes and taking trips and all this stuff. Like
The
I
worst.
just did with
Ugh.
the basketball team. Yeah, that kind of compounds the problem. And you're just like, you just want to sit still for a bit and like catch your breath and try to relax, but it just doesn't really exist. So, but yeah, hopefully everybody's getting their shopping done. There's plenty of, I think the Texas Tech items, autographs, gear,
Oh yeah.
tickets, all that probably be on everybody's Christmas list this year and surprises and all that kind of stuff. So, because there's some years where it's like, oh, a Texas Tech hoodie, okay, but this is a year where the Red Raiders are hot. So,
It's like, all right,
yeah,
Texas
that's
Tech
right,
hoodie.
that's
Yeah.
right, yeah, that's right, that's
Yeah, I
right.
think yeah, we'll go over next week. We'll be right up against Christmas, so we'll go through some of the best Texas Tech gifts, those sorts of things, your best
Okay,
gifts,
all
those
right.
sorts of. We'll have some fun with it, but
If you say so, I'm
if
here
you
for
want
it.
to, if you want to,
Yeah.
but so before we get into all the Texas Tech stuff, some bad news that happened on Sunday, and there was a question. We can jump right into it. Will Patrick Mahomes be the same after a torn ACL, or is this the beginning of the end of his peak? So is the dynasty over? Terrible news there for Pat.
Yeah, well, I mean, as we have talked about, to localize this a little bit, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like look at the Will Hammond situation. I mean, this is it's a year, give or take, and then you could even make the argument that, sometimes you don't even feel the same
Hmm.
for much longer than that, or can't operate the same. It's just that's a pretty nasty injury. I don't know at this point we're sitting here talking. I don't know if that's all it was with him,
Sure.
if it was MCL and some of the other things too, which makes it trickier. But I mean, he's going to play another 8 to 10 years at least, in my opinion. And as long as he is the starting quarterback for the Chiefs, they're going to have a chance. But it does. I tell you what it does, and it's kind of like what you kind of start to look around when you're talking about your quarterback for next year for Texas Tech
Yep.
being hurt. It can change the dynamic of a program. It can change the dynamic of your thought process and what you have to go do and who is the leader now. And like in the Chiefs case, like how do they draft? What do they do for a 1 year stopgap? Without Pat, you don't. It's just not. Not that they would plan on trying to be bad, but it's just tricky. And when exactly does he return? Does he return? Next November, December? Is it next year? Do they just punt on? I mean, and so that just affects a lot of free agent decisions and
Sure
drafting
does.
decisions and all the stuff, right? So, but I don't necessarily think it's the end of an era, but it is in some ways because the next time he plays, Travis Kelce's not going to be playing, in my opinion. And like they will have to have kind of transitioned.
Yeah,
I mean, 12 months is a long time, man,
it is.
especially in the NFL. Things change dramatically in an off season and in a calendar year and the outlook on a team and other team, whatever. And so, yeah, they'll have to have some tough conversations internally, but and it just sucks. But yeah, yesterday in the NFL was a bit tricky from an injury standpoint with Micah Parsons and
Hmm.
the Devontae Adams with the Rams and coming
Yep,
up lame with the hamstring. I mean, it's just on and on. A lot of star power that but the NFL is wildly fascinating. And then you get a guy
sure
like
it is.
Philip Rivers showing up, and I mean, it didn't look pretty, but he had him in position. They didn't win it, but he did about everything he could have to put the Colts in a weird spot. So fascinating reality TV is what it is.
It is because you can look. We don't talk a lot of NFL here, but I mean, you can look and it's impossible to figure out who's going to end up in the Super Bowl. Sometimes you can predict it decently, but right now I don't have a clue. The Patriots were the best team maybe before, and then the Bills beat
That's
them,
that's
and
what it's designed to do.
yeah, it is.
It's designed. It's a league of parody. Yep, it's designed to be just that.
Yep, and that's why it is so successful because, like you said, reality TV that we don't know what's going to happen. All right, Level got an array of questions, so we'll get to different topics here. But let's start off with this one from Mike on in our YouTube comments. He says Sam Levitt to Texas Tech. What's the chances there?
I mean, I would say none. I don't think that's a player that they're going to go after. He may not have no interest there. He may return. I don't know what's going to go on there, but I don't think Texas Tech is in his future. No.
So, who, I guess, is there any options that are out there that you think are viable? I know there's been whispers of a potential Big 12 quarterback. What do you think will be
Well, of the
Texas
port of
Tech's
the guys that
pursuit?
have entered the portal or intended to enter the portal at this point, Jaden Craig of Harvard is certainly an
Mhm.
option. He is on the NFL draft boards and things like that. But as far as like what is actually out there, not Diego Pavia, Nebraska.
Dylan Raiola.
Jeez, yeah, I've got the Heisman Trophy on
I
my
get it.
brain.
I get
Yeah,
it.
Raiola would probably be on a list. Speaking of Mahomes, but I think they're waiting to see what all options emerge first. But
That would
Sam
be
Levitt, Sam Levitt won't be sought after. And again, I want to make it clear he may have no interest in playing here too. So I just, but I don't think that's something that they will seek for
the,
whatever reason.
the Raiola thing. If that came true,
Yeah, and
it'd be
I
so
I
funny.
mean I know he was a big time prospect.
Hmm.
I think it was okay at Nebraska, but I think you can, I don't know, maybe do better there.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
What about guys that aren't in the portal? Is there anyone that you would have
What?
on your wish list? That's an
Well, and then the
impossible.
thing about, but by the way, the thing about Rayola too that causes a problem here is that he's got multi-year, he's still got several years to play.
Sure, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got several years to play, and I don't think that is something that Like DJ Lagway just got into the portal. He's
Yeah.
going to be highly sought after.
That's a Texas kid, by the way, from Texas originally.
Yeah, and you just anybody like that, I think that isn't exactly what they're looking for. Just because the back on the conversation about Mahomes too is like these kind of injuries, like to Will Hammond, it can alter the trajectory of a program just
Sure.
because who's the face, who's the leader, what are you doing? Say you bring in a guy that's got multi years to go. Well, and what if he does well, which would be your hope, obviously. It just
Yeah.
like your succession plan is permanently altered, and that's probably the one position that Joey would say that they don't want to have to use an out, like you want homegrown there, like Barron.
Hmm.
We saw how it was with Shuck. I mean, and people, have different opinions about Tyler Shuck. He's playing in the NFL. He's starting in the NFL right now. Actually played pretty well yesterday. Won a game against a potential playoff team. And yet you had the decision to make when it came down to it.
Yeah.
And thankfully you made the decision that you did because Baron Morton just took you to a Big 12 championship. But
Yeah.
it wasn't always looking like that, So this is just it's the premium position and it's tricky. There's a lot going on there. A lot. A lot of which most people don't think about. Um, And it's not just on the field, it's not just scheme, it's not skill set, it's all the other stuff.
Yeah.
It's all the other stuff. And that is hard to, even for somebody like Coach McGuire with all that they do, it's going to take a unique situation to kind of have people look at this guy,
Hmm.
whoever it is, and say, "Yeah, man, we got you. Yeah, we will follow."
Right.
Dude, you don't even know where Spanky's is. You know what I mean? I
Yeah, I
mean,
do.
it's just
Sure. Sure.
you have to have a lot of and like if you're Will, you almost have to like sign off on it internally, and Will be great.
Sure he will.
But like if you're Chubb, if you're Cannon who came in here
Yeah.
or who's going to come in here, and then if you're Kavion Bryant, I mean, you're very curious as to what you're bringing in here and how many years they have left to play because Kavion Bryant is one of the top quarterbacks in the country for 27. He hasn't signed yet,
Yeah.
so that's why I say it's like you can toss out all kinds of possibilities, but um, I saw, Rocco Becht is getting in. I suspect he will go to, I think he'll go to Penn State and play
Hmm.
with Matt Campbell. He's got a lot of family on the East Coast. His dad played at West Virginia, and so there's some geographical fit.
Sure.
Um, so I would say I'm not going to get into like a wish list. I would say follow geographical fit.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So another question. This one comes from Todd. Says, Level, are you as frustrated as me that J-Rod didn't get a invite to New York for the Heisman?
Yeah, the Heisman it's a weird process. There's a lot of people that have votes, they're regional votes. I don't know what you have to do to get it, to maintain it. It's impossible for people to see all the snaps and have a good feel for what everybody's doing. Um, yeah, this was a year where there was no natural,
Hmm.
it was a semi-close vote, and I think that Mendoza wins it, and he didn't look great in the last game that he played,
Yeah.
but maybe is that because it's Ohio State and all that stuff. But I think part of it too is because I think he's getting a lot of benefit, and I get it because Indiana has just been this afterthought in the sport of college football for decades and decades. And it's like they're number one in the country. Holy cow.
Yeah,
This is the same quarterback though that you beat in Shreveport, Louisiana a couple years ago, when he was
which
playing for
Jacob
Cal.
Rodriguez had a interception, forced
Yeah,
fumble against too, by the way.
yeah, that's right. They say that there's a natural cutoff in the voting, and that's how they decide. Because I think the year that Harrell and Crabtree were kind of involved, they only took three guys to New York that year,
Mhm.
and it's like I think Harrell and Crabtree kind of cannibalized each other.
I think they
So
finished what, 5-6, I believe.
yeah, yeah,
I
and
think,
so
yeah,
they didn't get invited, which I don't even watch that show anymore. I used to it used to be a much bigger deal. I just think the Heisman is way overhyped, and but did I think he deserved to go? Absolutely. And he obviously he finished fifth in the voting and the final
hmm
tallies and all those kinds of things. So
and he had
um,
more first place votes than Julian Sayin did.
yeah, and that's the thing about saying is that he's throwing to wide open receivers all day,
Yeah,
like literally. I mean, he's got Carnell Tate and
Jeremiah
um,
Smith. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. These are pro wideouts that are just running wide open. And so I don't know. And he's a freshman. His completion percentage is off the charts good and all that. So anyway, it's an interesting year for the Heisman. But I just didn't give it. J Rod is well recognized,
sure.
and I think he will be because that's really the conversation now. At some point, we'll be sitting there before a game, and at halftime they're going to have a ceremony with his name up on the wall or on the stadium permanently.
No question. Yep.
He has now cemented himself as one of the best players that's ever played here, and he's more decorated than Zach Thomas was. Now, will he go on to be an NFL Hall of Famer? I don't know about that, but I mean, I'm glad Joey added on to the trophy case or made room for stuff because
No
got all
kidding.
kinds of defensive awards, some of which I'm just not super familiar with, right?
Yeah,
Because you haven't ever been involved in that,
right.
Maxwell, Lombardi, and Butkus, and all the things. So it's been fascinating because it's like we've been getting all these emails, and you see in all these social media announcements. It's like it's almost become white noise. He's just been nominated for this, and like the best two teammates
Yep.
out there. It's like some of these awards I wasn't even.
Yeah,
It's never been on your radar. And everybody talks about the Heisman too much, and I just I don't know. I have more of a problem with their process, and it's
agreed.
kind of a popularity contest,
Very
and
much.
yeah. So I don't give it too much thought.
Yeah, but like I kind of had written the Heisman off before this year again, but I got a little hope with J-Rod and this push for him, and I let myself kind of get pulled
You
back in.
see, and
But
what does it say though, Woodman, that you have to make a push for it. You have to campaign for it. Does that not feel
it's
weird
political.
to you?
Yeah, that's what it
That's the
is.
whole problem. That's the problem with it. Like
Yeah.
I used to be, and I'm still part of the Football Writers Association,
hmm
and part of that they used to just email you stuff, notepads and
Yeah,
stuff, just trying to get you to vote for. And I'm like, well,
sure.
that tells you all you need to know
Sure.
about it, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does. The Heisman, the biggest problem, and we'll move on, with the Heisman is it's not what it claims to be. It claims to be the most outstanding player in college football, but it's not. It's a largely an offensive award.
Yeah.
It's going to go either to the most popular player, the
Or the
darling,
player on the best team,
or the best
Yeah.
offensive player on the best team,
Yeah.
quarterback or running back on the best team. So if you don't fit those criteria, and then if and then the other one is you got to have a logo with you. If you don't fit inside those three criteria,
Well, and
best player,
that's exactly why I think Mendoza won it.
yeah, yeah, because he was the best player on the best team.
Well, yeah, and I think that it's because he didn't have a logo, and it's like, holy cow,
Yeah,
like he got the benefit of not having a logo, if that makes sense.
yeah. But
So,
last year it was the most popular with Hunter. I mean,
yeah,
I mean, that's
and
how RG3 won. That's how Johnny
he was
Manziel
doing
won.
things. I mean, Travis Hunter was doing things that had never been done before, and
Sure,
like I think I didn't have a problem with that one. It's like how is it humanly possible to play the amount of snaps he's playing? But as we saw, it didn't really work in the NFL like they thought, and
sure.
he ends up missing most of the season. But
Yeah. So it's frustrating, like our text said, but that's how it goes. All right, more questions. Here's a crazy hypothetical for you, Level. Would Texas Tech beat an all Big 12 team consisting of the best players of the other 15 teams in the conference this year? That's from Jason.
This is like the a question of would the best college football team beat the worst NFL team?
Right.
Type
Right.
of question. These are well, you know what? Probably because you're more of a team than some collection of
Sure. Yeah.
people. Like what scheme are you running? That's probably. But I think the point of that question being asked really is that this is a really good football team that I think will stand the test of time.
Yeah.
I think people nationally are starting to notice there's not really any holes. You have
Mhm.
to nitpick on red zone, or you have to nitpick on Barron a bit, or you have to try to nitpick on. You can throw it maybe a little bit, but even then, the stats don't really necessarily back that up. And now the nitpick is going to be like, yeah, but they're in the Big 12. That's what everybody's kind of going to go with. Yeah, well, they did all that in the Big 12, so they can't be that good. But this kind of sets a standard for the Big 12 conference though going forward because
Yeah.
been a minute since there's been a team like this. I mean the 20 11 or 12 20 plus point wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's 12, excuse me. Yeah,
it's
it's not
12
it's not
now.
11,
Yeah.
it's 12 now. Yeah.
Yeah. Every
I
win
need to
you've had.
change my after the Big 12 title game, I need to change my stat there because yeah, it's all 12 of them. I mean, which
Five
is
teams
just
in
insane.
college football have done that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Five.
Yeah.
That have won 12 plus games of 20 plus points or more. It's just like and four of those went on to win a national championship. Not saying Tech's going to, but it's a level of dominance we just don't see. So the good thing is you'll get to prove it, whether it was just playing in the Big 12 or not. All the naysayers out there, you'll get a chance to prove it here in a couple of weeks. Um, Here's another question. Level in the college football playoff, who not named James Madison or Tulane is the best matchup for Texas Tech, and who is the worst?
I mean, Oregon's going to be a difficult matchup, which I think you're going to, they're very well rounded too. To me, Ohio State makes me nervous just because of those two wideouts. Um, yeah, I don't. I mean, Georgia, just because of how physical they are, this would be like looking in the mirror a little bit.
Hmm.
They've got a quarterback with some moxie like you do. So really, I mean, and Indiana does. They're schematically, they lost one of their best edge players, if not one of their best defensive players. It's out for the year. That will hurt them.
And they
But
lost him
like,
celebrating, right? That's
I
rough.
think so. Jumping up, yeah, it's just
Mm.
freak deal.
Yeah.
Terrible. But like, Bama doesn't, Oklahoma doesn't, Ole Miss doesn't. Who am I missing?
Bama, Oklahoma,
Oh,
Ole Miss.
Miami.
Miami's
Miami
the other
would
one. Yeah.
be
And A&M.
Miami playing their A game would be very interesting. Yes,
Yeah.
but you're on the opposite side of their bracket, and the reason is because that's why you didn't go to the Cotton Bowl. Sucks.
Yeah. So basically you're saying 1 through 5 or 1 through 5 for a reason. Because they're really
Yeah,
good
I mean,
football teams.
and
Yeah.
they're all a bit different. But there's nobody you can't compete with here. That's the thing. I mean, I think you're
Sure.
legit. There's nobody that you can't compete with and do damage against, and you're just going to have to be. You can't get away with some of the things, like the pre-snap penalties, the turnover, this and that. But your defense is going to give you a chance in every one of these things. But there's just not. There's not a quarterback out there. There's not a defense out there. There's not a that you can't, get your licks in on. So, but it just the margins will be thinner, and so it's just a matter of what it looks like that day, kind of thing. But I would love to see what it looks like against Indiana, but you got to get past Oregon first, and Oregon, obviously that they're probably the best team outside of the teams with the buys, hence the seeding,
Yeah.
and you'll have to go earn that.
All right, one more football question before we get to basketball. This one's signed from Big Tex. It says, Level, which Big 12 coaching change has been the most surprising to you this year? And does Kenny Dillingham take another job? That could change
Yeah,
by the time we,
Dillingham.
yeah.
Yeah, Dillingham's going to stay.
Okay.
I think he's getting a reworked deal. The Gundy thing didn't surprise me. Whittingham, we've known that for a couple of 3 years. They've had this plan in place. I guess I was mildly surprised that he stepped down and he didn't retire, and then he's
Hmm.
willing to go coach elsewhere, which is an interesting
That's interesting.
scenario there. It's an interesting exit for somebody that had been there for so long that kind
Hmm.
of was tapped on the shoulder and was like, okay, man, time to go. I mean, which is, I don't know exactly how that went down, but the Kleiman thing is probably the most shocking to me.
Hmm.
I'm not surprised that Matt Campbell left for the job that he did, but had the Michigan scenario happened a week earlier,
Hmm.
I think maybe Matt Campbell is the head coach at Michigan and
I
not
agree.
Penn State. So timing there is wild. Those were it was the Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan. Those were the jobs he was going to leave for if he ever left. And um, yeah, so but the Kleiman thing I think was very a shock to the system. But your league is, I mean, all of a sudden Joey and Satake and Dion are kind of the
It's crazy.
yeah. I mean, and Dion's he's obviously got some star power, but they're coming off of a terrible season. I just
Yep.
don't know what that looks like going forward. Um, and it's not a good look for your league, if I'm being honest. I mean,
Yep.
you had some names, you had some heavyweights, you had some respect, and a lot of that walked out the door
Yeah,
for
with
for
all of the departures, we mentioned the stat on the broadcast the other day, but Joey McGuire now owns the most Big 12 wins out of any current coach. That's crazy because he's been here 4 years. Now he's had a lot this year, but that's a
and
crazy
only
stat.
only Aranda has been in the Big 12 longer.
Yep, I think
Is that
so.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and he's
and
got
and that's just because like you've obviously had all these newcomers with, like, BYU, he's been there for many years, but they haven't been in the league for but
right, right.
2 3 years. So
Yeah, that's
anyway,
a
it's just it's changing. And if you don't change with it, and that's really at the root of all of those four changes
mhm.
is the new world we're in. Adapt and thrive or adapt and retire. Or adapt and go somewhere that can adapt or can afford to do so.
Yeah,
Because the root of all four of those departures is the new world we're living in.
it's crazy.
Uh,
Yeah,
I mean,
this.
and Gene Taylor said as much, the AD for Kansas State, was like a good man just walked out that door because we don't have all these problems solved, and it's just some people aren't up for it, and or not every Big 12 city or university is aligned like Texas Tech is. So you're very fortunate there.
Yep. No doubt. All right, let's shift over to some hoops talk to close it down. Texas Tech loses to Arkansas on Saturday in Dallas. This was a higher scoring matchup. What were your thoughts
Yeah.
on what we saw for or between Texas Tech and Arkansas?
Well, two very similar teams. Unfortunately, though, they were healthy. You were not. I mean, you've got to have Luke Monboye. You've got to have Mosley back. You've got to get something else because it's just he's making a lot of money, and I get it, but it's just a lot to ask JT Toppin to do anything more possibly than what he's doing right now. I
Yep.
mean, hey, score it, rebound it, defend, be the only big that we've got. He needs some help. Christian Anderson was phenomenal,
Hmm.
but you went at that thing with six players, and it looked really good for a period of time. And I think you can see what Grant's talking about. Like there's some growth there, but then there's some limitations there, especially if you don't have. I mean, because the Latrell Hoover, 7 foot, going to redshirt.
Hmm.
Mariella Kuntak, is dealing with a knee issue, and he's 6'11". Luke Bomboye, 6'11", 7 foot. Josiah Mosley is about 6'7", 6'8", kind of can do some different things. And they were all either sitting on the bench or back in Lubbock. And it's like those are your four tallest guys on your team.
Yeah.
And Arkansas was long. They had depth. They're good. They're athletic. And it just kind of the dam broke on you a little bit. And you played Christian and JT 40 minutes. They never came out. I mean, Grant even used a challenge, which he knew he had no chance to win, just to squeeze another timeout. That's what he used it for.
Sure.
In consultation with a lot of NBA teams, when they changed this rule, he's like, that's how we use a lot of it. And I think he's implemented that in some cases.
Makes sense.
The risk you run is that you don't get another challenge up until 2 minutes left in the game. But at the time that he used it, I mean, it was just like, because you just guys are just dragging, and you
Hmm.
were 3 of 10 from the free throw line, and all 10 attempts were from Christian and JT, and just tired legs show up. And yet, I think Arkansas like attempted 26 free throws, but it wasn't a situation where it was poorly officiated. It's just you were just trying to like this avalanche of transition and just trying to dunk it and attacking the rim, and you just didn't have much to resist, and that sucks. But that was the difference in the game is just the free throw discrepancy. But Arkansas kind of earned it, and you just weren't built to necessarily stop it. You wanted to try to slow the game down and
Yeah.
make them guard, and when you did, you were successful. But when it got into up and down the floor, you're not built for that, especially against those guys.
And it felt like just watching it level, maybe I don't know if you got this feeling sitting where you did in the arena, but it just felt like kind of like a four seed, 5 seed matchup in the NCAA tournament of two
Yeah.
teams battling to get to the Sweet 16. That's
Oh,
what it
it
felt
felt like a
like.
Big 12 tournament game or an NCAA tournament game. There's no doubt. The crowd was mostly Arkansas, but there was plenty of Red Raiders there too. But I just, it's been funny because you can definitely tell in some cases whose football program sucks right now
Yes.
because that's what happened in the Bahamas. Like Purdue, they're like,
Yeah.
we don't have to spend any money going to a bowl game
Yep.
or anything like that. Let's go to the Bahamas.
Right.
Well, in this case, Arkansas's football program is a mess, and so in the DFW area is host to a lot of hogs, and
Yep.
just like it is Texas Tech. So I think they certainly showed up
You could
and went,
tell who's
wow,
saving their money for Miami or Atlanta for
sure,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Or didn't want to go to Metroplex back-to-back weekends. All right, one more question. This one comes from Dylan. It says, Anderson and Toppin have obviously been great, but Level, who, in your opinion, needs to be the next guy to step up more?
Well, and it needs to be Lawan Watts. He's the most high usage player. He battled some foul trouble. He started off that game really well. I thought he played one of his best games the weekend before against LSU,
Hmm.
and you started to see glimpses of that early against Arkansas, but then it just kind of fizzled. It tailed off, and he's just got to be an answer. He's got to alleviate the pressure that Christian and JT are feeling to produce every time down. It's got to come from others. You see, Petty knocked down two threes. Atwell knocked down two threes. Tyree Bryan, which was a nice surprise, knocked
Yep.
down two threes. And so, but it's really Watts that needs because he's going to be the one that has the ball in his hands a bit more. He can facilitate. He can score. He can do some different things. But you needed a third guy on Saturday, and if you did, you might have been able to outlast Arkansas. But you just really need your pieces together because you can kind of, if you squint, you can see what
Hmm.
Grant's been talking about. You can see that it looks pretty good at times. You just have a hard time sustaining it because you just kind of ran out of gas. Just like it's so it's like I was talking to my broadcast partner on the basketball games, Jeff Haxton. We are talking about that. It's
Yeah.
not like Grant is this guy that has these grinded out physical
Hmm.
practices where guys are that's not why guys are getting hurt. But I feel like for the last 2 seasons, you've largely been injured. I mean, you just go back to last year. JT missed a month in November and December. Then you had the whole Chance McMillan situation. You had Darion Williams situation. You
Yep.
had this variety of and you were going at this thing. You played Houston last year with 6 dudes. You played the NCAA tournament with just 7 players up until the Elite Eight game when Chance McMillan finally came back. And it's just frustrating because, like, what if it's not how it works, but what if you would have had your
Sure.
pieces? That's what sucks. I'd love to have that game back on Saturday, or love to have the Illinois game back if you had your pieces. But again, that's not how it works. So it's just like, gosh dang, man. You just dare to dream a little bit, man. If you could just stay healthy and get a little luck there, what would it look like? But hopefully Luke Monboye is back soon, because if he's not back, you're going to have a really hard time playing Duke on Saturday night. You just are.
Yeah.
They're a load. Cam Boozer and JT Toppin, that matchup will be must-see TV, but right now Cam's got a little more help around him than JT does. And it will be a road game for the most part. You'll have some Tech faithful there, but the Duke plays there annually, and there'll be plenty of Duke folks there. So that'll be a tough one if you don't have your pieces. But if you have Luke,
Yep,
you'd have a chance. So
no doubt. So that's a big one, obviously, coming up. You got Northern Colorado on Tuesday night. Level.
yeah.
We'll be talking some Orange Bowl before too long, and we'll do some Christmas stuff next week. So have a great Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Guns up. Keep hope alive, people.
That's Chris Level. I'm Chois Woodman. It's been the Ask Level podcast, powered by the Double T Sports Network.
You've been listening to the Ask Level podcast, powered by the Double T Sports Network. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons for more great content from all of our shows on the Double T Sports Network.